Welcome to The New Next, a podcast that addresses current events and how they will impact the future. Co-hosted by the inquisitive public speaking champion, Mike McVeigh, and energy, economics, and technology expert, Matt Jensen. Join us as we explore all things energy, economic, tech, and political, and how they will affect our future. Both in good ways and bad ways. But yeah. And speaking of technology, it has been reported that the once hot fake meat has now seen a sales slide on price and being too woke regarding the perceptions of plant-based meat.
And by woke, you're referencing this Bloomberg article that we have.
Yes. It's interesting. I want to just say this from the beginning. The whole article doesn't really talk about woke at all.
Yeah, it's just clickbait.
It's very much clickbait, which kind of makes me kind of upset that this news source, especially this specific one, is doing that. But
well, we can just talk about the Deloitte report or reference.
Yeah, and I think that's the better part. But I just want to make sure that if it's a triggering word for you, it's not in here at all.
Yeah. So this Bloomberg article is about a Deloitte report, basically measuring consumer perceptions regarding plant-based meat. We saw over the past couple of years pretty massive amounts of funding going into plant-based meat and lab-grown meat. It's interesting for me seeing this too, because I've had like the Morningstar Farms. It's soy alternative meat. I've eaten that stuff now and then since, I don't know, like middle school or something. So it just kind of seems like in recent years it'll be this whole fad that from an investment thesis kind of turned into something. But I don't know if the market really ever caught on. You saw a lot of restaurants and distributors, including like Beyond Food or Beyond Meat and Impossible into their stuff. But I don't know. I think Americans like their meat.
Yeah, I think the episode in Parks and Recreation where I can't ever remember his character's name, Chris, which is played by Rob. Not Rob. Oh goodness, I can't think of the dude's name. He's like the ultimate villain in SNL movies. He plays in Tommy Boy. He's the bad guy. In Austin Powers 2, he plays the number 2. Anyways, he and Ron Swanson, they get in an argument about whether or not a veggie burger or a burger would be better. And they have this contest, and the Chris character goes and buys all these great, like, these recipes and stuff. He's spending like $100 on basically making this perfect burger. And Ron Swanson goes in and literally buys some very minimal. They cook, they barbecue, they grill, and then it's done, and everybody tries Chris's burger and like, oh wow, this is great. Yeah, this is really good. And then Ron just puts a patty on a bun, nothing else, no flavor, nothing. And they each take a bite and they're like, oh yeah, Ron wins. And he's like, but you said this was so good. And they're like, yeah, for a veggie burger, it's excellent, but nothing competes with just regular cow.
Yeah.
I've tried some veggie, or I call them veggie, alternative meat solutions. And there's been a couple of them that have been serviceable for sure. But I don't know. It's just like when even when you're talking about zero drinks or diet drinks and stuff, if you've had the original, that was what you preferred. When you go back to it, it always feels like, oh yeah.
Well, a lot of it too isn't any better for you, so it's just kind of like, it's like, you know, I'm not a vegetarian, so why would I, you know, eat something with way more sodium and less nutrients? Shoot, what's that restaurant called? I can't remember what it is, but there's a restaurant in Oklahoma City that has a super good quinoa burger. So there are people that do it right, but I think like theirs, it's like quinoa and beans and stuff like that, but it takes some effort.
Well, and the price is also the other side. I'm not sure how much that burger costs, but I would imagine a comparative burger that's just beef probably was a lot less expensive.
Yeah, it's just hard sometimes. Like the tech, or like how it looks and the texture too, is just rough. I obviously didn't eat it, but I saw a picture of it's like printed steaks the other day, and it was basically made to look like a ribeye, and they're talking about how all good it is and stuff, but it looked like Play-Doh or one of those plastic fake steaks that they have that come with little child kitchen kits. So I was like, this looks like, you know, maybe they should have used Photoshop a little bit more or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, and I know this isn't what the article is about, but I did read some stuff recently about how a lot of the farms and stuff, that there's some environmental concerns with how beef is curated, like from the beginning to the end. And that's probably the best reason whatsoever to go to doing alternative meats. But when it comes to taste, and I'm not saying our taste buds can't change, but there's just something about when you've been on sugarless drinks and stuff, and then you eat sugar, you know, when you finally get a chance to have beef again, it's kind of sad, you know.
That's why we're big boys, Mike.
Yeah, that sugar and beef.
Yeah.
Even though I really do like chicken, I don't see a lot of alternative chickens out there.
Yeah. So this Bloomberg article says, after once enjoying double-digit growth, sales in plant-based meat category are falling. So sales of meat alternatives at retailers are down 10.5% by volume for the last 52 weeks. And part of it said that proteins that were cheaper on a price per pound basis did better. So part of that might be inflation and economy related. But, Deloitte did say in here what we've just talked about is the industry is suffering from a perception problem. And it's just, I think that there's a lot of people that just like the flavor of meat, and the alternatives just really haven't caught up in both the flavor, but kind of like the whole package, the visual, the smell, the texture.
Yeah. And I guess right now it's still healthier to the environment, but I don't really have much to say on it. I love the fact that they're spending that much time and money on it. I would prefer for them to maybe just solve some of the problems with the industries that are causing the problems. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to eat beef related or pork related products more times than not.
Yeah, I feel a lot of times it's easier for me to get mushrooms tasting like meat than getting kind of these food alternatives in there. So
yeah,
it's like I love eating mushrooms, portobellos, and stuff like that. But I mean, fake meat's fake meat. It's like buying a full X, fake Rolex.
Does that mean you're woke?
I don't know what that means. Probably not.
I don't really either.
I'm too cool. Too cool for school.
If you would like to learn more about the New Next podcast, find us at thenewnextpodcast.com, where you can suggest a topic you would like for us to cover. If you enjoyed what you heard, share the podcast, tell a friend about it, or rate us with 5 stars.